Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 011111911.
A hiker had to survive 13 days on 2 granola bars. 2 granola bars for 13 days. You know, granola bars not very, very big.
I can do it, but how much hiking was he doing?
Well, I don't think that's the thing. If you get lost, you're supposed to stay put, right? Isn't that what they always say? If you get lost, stay put. Now, the problem is I would have a hard time doing that because I would think if I found a creek and I followed it downstream, it would lead to a bigger body of water, which would usually be
how long?
A river
13 days?
Or a lake.
No.
It would go somewhere.
I'm not staying in place for 13 days.
How about on December 26th? I mean, that's the problem. Now, here's the problem. When you're out there and you don't have a lot of food, he was probably one of these guys looking for Bigfoot. I don't know. You heard about that, didn't you? The 2 guys that died looking for Bigfoot in the Northwest, up in the Washington State area.
No, I haven't.
Skamania County. Yeah, they went out Bigfooting and they weren't prepared. They got lost. They weren't prepared to spend the night. They froze to death. At least that's the story we're getting.
What, you think Bigfoot got him?
Maybe Bigfoot got him. I don't know. This guy survived for 13 days by eating berries and 2 granola bars that he found in a hut. Oh, my God. He didn't even have them with him. He just found them in a hut. Boy, that would be really hard to leave the hut. I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to make it.
I would, yeah. If I had shelter, I wouldn't leave. I'd be like, okay. I mean, eventually you'd have to leave, but I would try to wait as long as I possibly could for a weather break. Cell service? Yes or no? Probably not.
No, of course not. And he was rescued by a couple of hikers that just happened to stroll by. If you had to survive on something...
I don't know. I'm lost.
All right, here's the deal. I'm going to put you in the bush, as they call it. I think they call it that in Canada and other parts of the world. We call it the woods. If you're in the woods for 2 weeks and you have this to eat, that's it. You get 1 package of this a day. Screw 2 granola bars for 13 days. You get a package of, let's say, peanuts every day. What would it be? Would it be nuts would be a good one. I don't know. Peanuts.
Trail mix. I'm hiking. That's an easy answer. Trail mix.
Oh, you're a jackass. Are you kidding me? You think just because it's called trail mix, it's going to save your ass? And
right.
It's called trail mix. I need to start hiking. No, you don't want to burn calories. You want to preserve as many calories as you can.
Oh, then I would get one of those bars, but the taste awful. You know which ones I'm talking about? The Power Bar.
The Power Bar.
It's like,
well, that would definitely be the best thing you could have is, something like that that's made to sustain you.
Yeah. Like I was like, oh, cool. Granola bar, Power Bar. Let me try this out. And I opened it up and I'm like, what is this? That's terrible. But I would choose those. Plus they're pretty lightweight.
I think it's fake news. How come there's never a story about somebody that survived on Snickers bars for 13 days? You could do it. You could survive on a Snickers bar. I might go out and just do it just to prove
Trail
it.
Trail mix?
No, I'm talking about. Well, trail mix is healthy. I'm talking about something that's unhealthy for you, like a Snickers bar.
Not healthy.
Like the Snickers bars Fun Size. I'm gonna eat one of those a day, and that's gonna be a hell of a diet.
The trail mix that I'm eating is not healthy. It's got white chocolate chips in it. Sometimes it's got cranberries in it, or the other one that I eat has M&Ms in it.
I love the white chocolate chip stuff. That's good.
Yeah, with the cranberries,
with the dried cranberries.
So good, good. Best trail mix. It's the best trail mix that you can get. Like, that's the one.
Since we're talking about mixes, and it's just was the holidays, why is it that we don't see Chex Mix anymore except for around the holidays? I feel like everybody makes it, but it's always around the holidays.
Chex hijacked it. Chex, they make their own trail mix now.
Yeah, but
it's
not as good. It's not as good.
17 different flavors. It's not as good as when you use homemade.
No, the homemade one, and it's a little stronger. It's like,
think about how much easier it is, though. To go buy a bag and open it up and pour it in a bowl and go,
I've never tried to make it. I'm sure it's not easy. Otherwise, people would make it all the time.
Oh, my grandma would make it, and it was painstaking, and you could only make little bits at a time, and she would have to do it in shifts. Like, here's a casserole dish.
Did she do pretzels or peanuts?
Next one was waiting, peanuts, pretzels. And the wheat Chex were the best because they held on to the Worcestershire sauce. I remember asking her, I was like, why are the wheat Chex the best in here? And she's like, well, I use Worcestershire sauce, and they absorb the Worcestershire sauce the best. Gosh. And it would be the saltiest.
Is that your Grandma Kingman?
No, it was my grandma Wright.
Oh, Grandma Wright.
Yeah.
Your mom's
Grandma Kingman, not a good cook. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my grandma, my mom's mom, great cook. My dad's mom, not a good cook.
Yeah, my mom's mom was like my second mom. My dad's mom.
Wouldn't eat anything she made.
Never saw her unless it was like a family thing. Isn't that weird? And she lived like 6 houses from us for the first 2 years of my life. Rarely saw my grandma Ollie. But I mean, not that I have any ill feelings towards her. She just wasn't that type, you know. Where my mom was 20 years old when she had me. So her mom was very much in her life, in a part of my life, which was great. They were both great. But it was weird how I had one grandma that was there all the time, 24/7, saw her almost every day.
Did she make Chex Mix?
The other one I saw a couple times a year. And she lived literally 6 houses away.
And I'm changing my answer now, by the way. It would not be trail mix, it would be Chex Mix.
No, but I think she made really good deviled eggs.
I would be looking forward to that one. Every single day, I'm like, oh, I can say about Chex Mix. That'll give me will to live. You need to have something that gives you will to live. I don't know if trail mix is going to give me will to live.
But here's the thing. If you only got a little sandwich Ziploc bag of trail mix to eat a day, in the beginning, you'd be shoveling that down your throat. Sorry. And then by a weekend, you're like, oh, God, now I can only eat like, I don't know, a quarter of a bag a day. It's got to stretch me out.
I don't know. I think I would eat as
self-control.
The least I could eat at first. And then later on, as I felt I needed energy, maybe I would eat a little bit more. I'm pretty good at portioning. You have
the self-discipline. See, I don't have self-discipline. And this might be the best thing I could do to teach my body or to teach myself, my brain, self-discipline, is to put myself in a situation where I will die if I don't discipline myself.
I'm surprised getting paid as much as we get paid that you don't do this all the time. I mean, that was my motivation.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning. Listen online at kzoz.com.
Jeff and Jeremy here. It's time to do the picks. It's the Red Zone Challenge brought to you by the Poorhouse and Be Right There Heating and Air. Callthebee.com. Leslie, Patrick, Jeff, and Jeremy, and that's kind of how it works. Leslie and Patrick are out in front at 30 and 24. Jeff is at 26 and 28, and I'm one game back of him at 25 and 29. The good news is you can save my season. Score yourself $50 to the Poorhouse and $50 off your next service from Be Right There Heating and Air. All you have to do is get 4 out of the 6 games correct. We're giving you a little leeway, but it is the playoffs, and we're going through all 6 matchups.
So it is a percentage type thing. So 2 out of 3 is 66%. 4 out of 6 is 66%. So no complaints. Plus, a lot of the point spreads this week are pretty big. Like, these games should be a little bit easier to pick. Some of them will.
Ben Hansen, congratulations, a big winner last week. He actually won the first week we did this, Leslie. You might be getting to know Ben, as he's going to be coming through quite a lot, as he's got a handful of gift cards to the Poorhouse now.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was actually going to say, with 6 games being picked this week, it's really hard. So I'm going to go ahead and throw another $100 on top if somebody goes 100% and gets 6 out of 6.
Oh, damn!
Oh, okay. So they have to get all 6 correct, and you'll throw in another $100 gift card. Wow.
Yep.
All right. There it is.
That'll be fun.
Whoa.
All right, I got to write this down, otherwise I'm going to forget. All right, let's get to the picks in, because we've got a lot of games.
Should I match that, guys?
If you want to, it's up to you.
Yeah,
I mean, I would talk to your boss, Mike, but I mean, if he give, what you don't have the authority to pull that trigger? You got to talk to Mike.
Just gonna give it the green light. 6 for 6 is very impressive and damn near impossible. So let's just go ahead and do it.
Okay. All right. Whoa.
Right, yeah, that'll be
That's crazy. That's
making
insane.
it interesting.
Yeah, it is going to make it very interesting. So go 6 for 6. You guys think it's hard? I mean, based on point spreads, there are 2 that could throw you off in the picks this week. The other ones, there is market favorites, except for Tampa Bay, Washington is a toss up because there are going to be so many points there.
All right, guys. So in this first round, we'll break it up into 2 since there's 6 games. We'll do L.A. at Houston, Pittsburgh at Baltimore, and Denver traveling east out to play the Bills. We'll start off with that Chargers-Houston matchup. The Chargers a 2.5-point road favorite going in to take on the Texans. Leslie, you're going first.
Okay, and we'll try to be quick on these. So I think that the Chargers are probably going to be one of the teams this week that are going to win an away game. I think that they're just playing better than the Texans. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into all my reasons why, but I'm going to take the Chargers on this one.
Patrick?
Man, this is a really tough one, guys. You're really putting me to the fire here.
I know what you're picking.
So, obviously, I mean, it's not very often that a road playoff team is favored on the road, which is impressive of my Chargers. I'm very happy about that. So, yeah, the Chargers are going to go on the road and get the W, and we're taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I think the Los Angeles defensive line is going to give C.J. Stroud a ton of issues.
Yes.
And that's when C.J. Stroud is at his worst, and that's what people have figured out, people being the other teams in the NFL that face the Texans all season long. This season's not been quite the story that he was last season. I think from a career standpoint, he'll be fine. He'll figure it out. They'll have an off season to figure out ways to scheme him up a little bit better. But last year was their year, the Houston Texans. This year, it's another year to figure it out. Give me the Chargers.
All right, all three going the Chargers. Save my season. Give us that pick. L.A. No, they're at Houston, and they are a road favorite. Next up, Pittsburgh traveling out to Baltimore. Baltimore's a 9.5-point favorite. What do you think, Leslie?
The biggest this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest spread this week, and I think for good reason. I think that this is the easiest pick of the week, actually. The Steelers are coming off. I think they lost the last 4 games, and the Ravens won the last 4. They're playing really well. Henry's a beast. Lamar Jackson, he wants to prove. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. This is Ravens all day for me.
Patrick?
Yeah, big number, big spread, but it will not matter. I've been a big fan of Lamar Jackson all year. Watched a lot of Lamar Jackson, my fantasy quarterback. Pittsburgh doesn't even know who they're playing at quarterback this week, and that's kind of crazy. I heard some talk that Fields might be playing. You guys hear that?
Yeah, you were cutting out a little bit, but I'm glad you recognized it so Jeremy didn't start yelling at you.
No, I think he was asking us about who's going to start at quarterback. That's what he was asking.
Oh.
Did you hear that?
I don't think it matters.
I think it's interesting. I'm a Justin Fields fan. I would like to see Justin Fields get the start, just because it's going to throw the Ravens for a loop if they do that, and everything that they've planned for is going to do it. Or hell, split it up. What do you have to lose at this point?
Going into a playoff game and not knowing who you're playing at quarterback, that's not a good sign. I'm going with the Ravens all the way. They're going to cover the 9.
You too, Jeff?
Okay. I am going with Baltimore. I don't think they'll cover, though. I think it's hard for division teams to play each other 3 times. It's hard to win against the same team 3 times. But Baltimore is the superior team. It will be close, though. I believe that this will be close. The 2 staffs know each other inside and out. It was close a few weeks ago when they played in Pittsburgh. So, I will say it's going to be close, but Baltimore will find a way to get their 3rd over the Steelers this year.
All right, second pick and save Jeremy's season, Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Baltimore, a 9.5-point favorite. Our final matchup of the first round of our picking the playoffs, Denver, who looked like they won the Super Bowl after they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who, by the way, I've heard conspiracy theories they threw that game. Let's see. Buffalo's an 8.5-point favorite. I know you were excited about it. I saw it on Facebook there, Leslie. Who do you like?
Well, of course, I'm excited about it. It's the first time in 9 years that my Broncos are finally in the playoffs. As much as I want to pick my team, and I really do believe that we have a better shot than people are giving us credit for, our defense, I think, is going to keep us in that game. I think we'll probably start off a little slow, but we'll get our rhythm in the second half like we kind of had done all year. But I can't pick with my heart. I have to pick with my head. So I do think Denver can win, but I think Buffalo is the better choice for me to pick on this for this contest. So, and hey, if Denver wins, I'm happy either way. So
there you go. What do you think,
but
Patrick?
I'm going to go Buffalo.
You agree?
Yeah. How many years has it been since Denver made the playoffs? I didn't hear that number.
Well, there's like 7 or 8.
8 years. Yeah, it's been 8. So 9 seasons, basically.
18 seasons. That's good. That's great. Yeah. I'm gonna go with Buffalo, the home team.
We're all like, what?
He's over at somebody's house. They're making him breakfast, and he's drinking Bloody Marys.
Clarence is having. He's laying out a spread for.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you need another Bloody Mary. All right, Jeff, who do you like?
Buffalo. Going with Buffalo.
Yeah, Patrick's going with Buffalo. I do think that this is a good defensive matchup for the Denver Broncos. I think that they can contain what they like to do in Buffalo pretty well. I think the X factor is going to be a rookie quarterback, though, on the road in the first round of the playoffs. It's going to be hard. If Bo Nix gets going early, I could see a world in which the Denver Broncos win this one. Will he get going early? I don't know. So I'm gonna lean the Buffalo Bills, but I also think this will beat the spread. I think it'll be closer than people think it's going to be.
Green Bay at Philadelphia. Philly a 4.5-point favorite, Leslie, against the Packers.
I kind of think that Philly has the potential to go and win the whole thing this year. So I'm definitely going to go Philadelphia. I mean, Saquon is a beast. They're 10-0 with Hurts in their games. He's playing like I think he's got 0 interceptions in those last 4 games. He's not making mistakes. Jordan Love, I think, got hurt the last game. He's questionable. I think he's going to play, but even if he does, I don't know how effective he'll be. So I think that this spread should be higher than it is, actually, at 4.5. So give me the Eagles all day.
All right. Eagles a 4.5-point favorite at home, hosting the Green Bay Packers. Patrick.
Yeah, that spread, I think it's not going to be a blowout. Would be kind of a tough bet if you're betting the game. But with Philly being at home, playing well, I definitely know Nick Sirianni's job and career is probably on the line with this game if he loses this game. That's a lot of pressure to coach under and play under. But I think Philly gets it done in a tough, close field goal battle game, and going with the home team, the Eagles.
Was Nick Sirianni under a lot of pressure last year when they got shellacked and surprised by Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, forcing Jason Kelsey's retirement as they stumbled to the finish line in the NFC least? I think this division's overrated. I think you get weeks off by playing in this division, and Green Bay did not. I think they're better battle tested. I think Matt LaFleur's a better coach. It'd make me feel better if I knew that Christian Watson and Jair Alexander were definitely going to go, and Jordan Love was brought up by Leslie, a little banged up on this one. But Jalen Hurts also is returning from a concussion, so. Who knows what's going on there? I know he's had time and he'll be fine, but I like Green Bay in this game. I really do. What they did last year by taking the Cowboys by surprise in the first round of the playoffs, I think it's the same script here, and I think Philadelphia fans should be happy when Green Bay comes into Philadelphia and whoops up on the Eagles, because then they'll get their wish and Sirianni will get fired. So give me the Green Bay Packers in this game.
I am stepping out. All right, next matchup, Washington. The Commanders travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks, who are a 3-point home favorite, Leslie.
Oh, man, this is the hardest game of the week, I think, for me. Well, these next two are both really hard. I guess Jaden Daniels, I guess he just won Rookie of the Year, did he?
Congratulations to Jaden Daniels,
Yeah, although I think my boy, Bo Nix, should have been in that.
He had a great season.
Anyway,
he really did. He turned it on, man.
Yeah, really did. Like I said, I really don't know about this one. I wish you guys were picking. These defenses are kind of pretty even, I think. They're both middle of the pack for takeaways and points per game.
Highest spread of the week. I mean, highest over-under of the week in Vegas.
Oh, is this one? Shoot, God. Oh, God, I don't know which one to pick here. I always go back to what Jeff says about if somebody can mess up on the field, it's Baker. If Baker can Baker it up. I think I'm going to go Washington. I guess. Oh,
not
I don't
going
know.
with the home
Sorry,
field
guys.
advantage, huh? All right, Washington it is.
You know what? No, I'm going to take that back. I'm going Tampa Bay. I'm sorry. I'm going Tampa Bay.
I already wrote it in.
I'm sorry.
It's not pencil. All right, Patrick, who do you like?
Erase it.
No take back. No take
we got
back.
it. We got you, Tampa Bay.
It's hard. It's
Okay.
a tough game.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most underrated game of the week. Us West Coasters out here.
Yeah,
you know,
me too.
I really like Baker Mayfield. He's been playing with a lot of energy and putting up a lot of touchdowns. You know, just the underdog, right? I just love rooting for him, watching him play. It's going to be a good game. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay, the home team, and Baker Mayfield to get a home playoff win in a fun game. I'm going Tampa Bay.
I like it too. I like the Baker Mayfield fever. The I don't know. It feels like it's a different season.
Yeah.
I know Jeff doesn't have a lot of faith in the guy, but he's been playing well this year. So he's been making things
41
happen.
touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, if there's any time that Baker Mayfield shows up, it's in the first round of the playoffs. He showed the Eagles that last year, right?
Yep.
This is not the Eagles either. This is the Washington Commanders. I like Tampa Bay in this one. I like the home field advantage. I like the bigness of the stage. Although it's not like Jaden Daniels didn't play in national championship games when he was in Alabama, so he understands that. And I just think, you know, there's more cohesion to the unit that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers than there is to the Washington Commanders. That's not to say that the Washington Commanders aren't going to be contenders for a while, but they're still figuring their team out. New coach, new quarterback, new scheme, new offensive coordinator, new staff up and down. It's awesome what they were able to do this year. I think Tampa Bay has the edge being at home and being a unit that they've been for the last couple of years. They got to fix that. That secondary, the defense, hopefully they're focusing on that and they've turned some things around there because that's where they could leak and give the Commanders the win. But I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
all right, so if you're playing at home, save Jeremy's season. That's Washington and Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, the 3-point home favorite in that matchup. Moving on to our final matchup of the playoffs in week 1 of the playoffs. Minnesota, a road favorite at 1.5 points, traveling out to take on the Rams. Who do you guys like in this one, Leslie?
Oh, this is, I think, the second toughest game of the week to pick. Had the Vikings played a little bit better against the Lions, I would have gone Vikings all day, and I still think that I will pick the Vikings, even though their defense got so embarrassed by Gibbs last week. I think that they've got to bounce back. I think that they just had an off week. And, you know, Stafford and the Rams, they're playing really well. They've won the last 5. He hasn't been sacked in 4 games. But they just haven't been great in the red zone all year. They've been kicking a lot of field goals. I think the Vikings are going to click. Jefferson's going to get a couple touchdowns. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to go Vikings.
I mean, Sam Darnold didn't even score a touchdown last week. They got beat 31 to 9.
Nobody did. They got 9 points. Yeah, 9 points.
I mean, I think everybody was ready
They
to put their
have to
money on
bounce
the
back.
Lions for the Super Bowl. Maybe they still are, but it was an impressive win.
Hey, I have been a fan of both teams all year for different reasons. Going to be another fun, really good, competitive matchup. I'm going to go with the home team, the Rams. Just Stafford with his experience. They're healthy. Their defense is playing better than they have.
Oh,
Whoa, hey.
what's that?
Whoa.
What's that?
Yes, sir.
Ram it. Ram it.
Just ram it. Home playoff win. Stafford, McVay, the whole 9 yards.
Hold on, DJ. Keep spinning that record. Jeff, are you going Rams?
I'm going Rams too. I'm going Rams too. The celebrities can't go home. They're going to be in the filling up SoFi. They got nowhere else to go because the fires, and it's going to be where the community. It's going to be where the community pulls together. Plus, I do believe that it's going to be tough for the Vikings to overcome the disappointment of last week in 1 week's turnaround. So I do think that the Rams took the week off last week. They're going to be rested. I think they exposed themselves
I think the
by
Vikings
showing
did
the
too.
blue. Yeah, no kidding. They exposed themselves by showing the. Plus, there's no way Sean McVay lets Cam Akers come in and get any semblance of revenge against him.
Let's do it for L.A. Let's do it for L.A. Just ram it.
That's right. We're LA strong,
Leslie. She's anti-LA. Apparently, she's anti-LA. Whatever. Well, good luck to you guys.
No, I just think the Vikings overall are a better team. Yeah, and I think that they will.
Oh, we're just giving you a hard time. Everybody knows you're not anti-LA.
Yeah.
Right now. That would not be good for business.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, so there it is. Minnesota
Many
at
years
LA.
ago, there was fires down in San Diego, and that was when Schwarzenegger dropped the famous soundbite, "Go Chargers!
Go Chargers!"
All right, so once again, these are all the games you need to pick to save Jeremy's season. And remember, if you go perfect 6 for 6, Leslie and Patrick are going to throw an extra $100 on top. That's $200 extra, plus your $50 you're going to win from us just if you get 4 out of 6 right. So here they are again, okay? LA Chargers travel out to Houston. The Chargers a 2.5-point favorite. Pittsburgh travels out to Baltimore. Baltimore, a home favorite at 9.5 points. Denver at Buffalo. Buffalo, a 8.5-point favorite. Green Bay at Philly. Philly, a 4.5-point favorite. The Commanders travel out to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucks, a 3-point favorite at home. And Minnesota, that road favorite at 1.5 to take on the Rams. Text in your picks right now to 805-543-3693. Good luck to you. And good luck to you guys.
Yeah, go Broncos.
All right, see you guys. Get to KZOZ.com to make your picks.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.
Jeff and Jeremy in the Morning podcast brought to you commercial free by another podcast. You've subscribed to ours, now subscribe to theirs. It's the Slow County Real Estate Podcast with Hal Swayze. When you're done with this, go listen to something that will actually enrich your life. California DRE 01111 911.